Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to show you how to mix vocals. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So here we are in FL Studio. This is my semi-away recording project file. I'm going to be doing a full breakdown of this and the beat arrangement in another video, so stay tuned for that. But we're only concerned with the vocal mixing in this video. So let's bring up the mixer. You see, in the last video, I made a mixer preset, how to set up a recording template for FL. It's very similar to this, and I'm just going to dive straight into my lead vocal chain. Now you can see here that it's actually on the recording bus. I don't recommend this, especially if you're not mixing your vocals yourself. When you record the effects onto the vocal track, you're really limiting the options you have in terms of changing any effects and things like that. So I would recommend that you send your recording track to another bus with your effects on there, so that you can come back and edit them at any time if you so choose. But the first effect in the chain is auto-tune. Now, my voice is low male, so I've selected that. Every auto-tune will be different. Make sure you're in the key of the song you're actually singing with. Otherwise, that won't sound very good. Higher retune speed is going to make it sound more robotic, and less is going to make it sound more natural. A little bit of humanization as well adds realism to sustained notes at high retune speeds. So if your retune speed is cranked all the way up, using this will be your best friend. But there's not too much to talk about. Auto-tune is auto-tune. Now next up we have an EQ. This is a really basic EQ. All it's doing is cutting out the low frequencies and the very high frequencies, just to clean the signal up a little bit and prepare for some further processing. The next EQ I've got in the chain is again cutting out any lower frequencies, and we're starting to boost some of the high frequencies to gain some of the clarity. Next, I've got a boatload of fresh air. This is a free plugin. Feel free to download it. Great for vocals. Really adds that clarity and sparkle on the top end. Really brings the vocal out in the mix. SSQ. Again, I just like how this sounds. I'm using this EQ to give the vocal a little bit of body because we have boosted so many high frequencies. And finally, I've got a fruity limiter for some compression. My threshold is at -16 dB. My knee is at 100%. And I've got a 7:1 compression ratio. That's actually really compressed. Generally only one about 4:1, but I found as I was using this and singing, it wasn't actually being compressed at all. So I just bumped up the ratio until it was compressed to the level that I like. Now this is very overly compressed, and it would probably depend on what type of song that you're making, but keep that in mind. I've also got Fruity Notebook 2 in case I want to write any lyrics down, and that's it for the main vocal chain. All free plugins minus the auto-tune, but that can be switched out for FL Studio's Pitcher, does the same thing. Those are the main effects on the mixer track. I've got 2 sends, one for a reverb and one for a delay. All you got to do to set these up is put a reverb and a delay on separate tracks. Click this arrow below it so that you're still connected to the master. Play around with the reverb settings that you want. Make sure your wet's at 100% and your dryer's at 0%. Play with the volume fader and this send knob to determine how much reverb or delay you want. These are the delay settings. All I've done here is I've gone to the ping pong preset. I've just turned the dry down to 0. This is more of a routing type thing, but for backing vocals, usually all I do is bring the volume down and send it to 2 tracks, one that is panned completely to the left and one is panned completely to the right. Now you can see there's vocals here that are sent to each track. This one is sent to 6, which is to the left, and this one here is sent to 7, which is completely to the right. So I'm not actually splitting tracks. I'm sending separate tracks, 2 different mixer tracks, so they can be spread to give you a wide stereo sound. Next, I didn't actually use any ad-libs this time specifically. No processing, but I can give you some recommendations. A lot of the time I copy the lead preset onto my ad-lib track, and then I can really narrow down the EQ to get the telephone effect. I can show you this preset just to give it a different flavor, and also I'll send it to the reverb and delay send, but really drench it this time. Space it out and push it back in the mix as ad-libs are. But this is totally subjective. This is where you can be creative with your vocal mixing. You can throw chorus, you could throw like distortion. You can put distortion on the lead even. Like a lot of this can be creative. I've got the very bare bones on this track that you probably want for 99% of your mixes. But yeah, this is literally the recording setup I use for my new single, Send Me Away. It's on Spotify now. I'd really appreciate if you go check it out, give it a listen, add it to all your playlists if you do like it. But yeah, more to come in the future with that. When I'm recording to beats, I guess this is applicable. I always make sure on my master I've got a limiter and a soft clipper. Now basically all this limiter is doing is I'm boosting the ceiling up to 1 dB and bringing the attack, release, and sustain down to 0. And then I just raise the gain until the volume level gets back up close to the original level that the beat was at, with the vocals obviously included. Now because you're boosting the gain with the limiter past 0 dB, this soft clipper is basically soft clipping the signal down to 0 dB, so the master channel itself isn't clipping. Now this is only really for listening purposes, because you do want to export your vocal stems, put them back in a project with the beat, and mix it properly from there. But as a temporary fix, when all your levels are nice and low when you're recording, so you don't get any clipping unnecessarily, this is a good alternative. And in terms of leveling, basic leveling, your lead vocal is obviously going to be the loudest component, so you want that to be within reach of the beat. I'll play this rough mix of the recording here to give you a good idea. So you've got the beat in this channel, and then I have my lead in this channel. So you can see my beat is ranging from about 6 to 9 dB, minus 6 to minus 9 dB, whereas the lead is about minus 18 dB. That's a good level, roughly. You might want to bring it up a little bit if the vocal is too quiet for you, but these are very basic numbers for when you're going to drag it into your mixing project and level it from there. If you want to see proper levels and stuff like that, make sure to check out probably my next video where I go through and break down the actual song. But in terms of rough numbers, the lead's going to be the loudest, and then the backing is probably going to be 3/4 of that, and the ad-libs around the same. So I'm just going to play the hook here so you can see. I'm going to bring all the main tracks you should be concerned with together so you can see all the levels next to each other. So I've got the lead, the backing bus, left and right backing. These two both go into the bus, obviously, in case you want to process those differently. Similar to the ad-libs. Then I have the reverb sends. Alright, so that's going to be it. Thanks everyone for watching. Very simple video, straightforward. That's how I mix my vocals for this track. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you have any other vocal mixing tricks, feel free to put that down there as well. But that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. If you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content, hit the bell notification button for next time I post a video. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you.